Action Station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala.
All right, 22 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. I was made aware of the program that we're going to talk about right now through an email. And, you know, I'm kind of a skeptical guy, or at least a cautious guy, at least when it comes to the information that I bring to you, the listeners. And the truth is, I want you to be entertained by what we do, but I also want you to get some real good, usable information. And I think we have somebody who's got some good, usable information for you. Everything I looked at, I mean, it looked very copacetic to me. I don't even know what the word means. I know when to use it. I just don't know what it means. Jonathan Schaefer is on the phone, and I so appreciate the fact that he's agreed to come on the show. We've actually invited him to be on to explain to us about the PACE, Florida PACE, and the eVest programs. The way I understand it is that he's going to correct everything I've got wrong. Let me just tell you what I think. It sounds like a program where you can get money to fix up the things in your house that will make it more fuel efficient, more energy efficient. And I'm not really sure how that money, where it comes from, or how you pay it back, or if you pay it back. I don't really understand all of that. That's why Jonathan's on the phone to explain everything to us. He is the program manager with the Florida PACE program. PACE, by the way, and there's more than one PACE if you look it up. This one stands for, the acronym stands for a Property Assessed Clean Energy Program. And that is with eVest, E-V-E-S-T, Florida, an industrial... Jonathan is also an industrial engineer. He managed disaster recovery efforts for some of the nation's largest natural disasters. Is that right?
Yes.
In Florida, Louisiana, and Texas, and is an authorized OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health Administration outreach trainer for construction safety. Wow, you got a lot of things in your resume, Jonathan. Good morning, Jonathan Schaefer. Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning. How are you, Larry?
Pretty good. Where are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from my desk here in Orlando.
In Orlando. Okay. Well, thank you for doing this. Well, my first thought, and the skeptical of the leery part, was I didn't know if this was like a loan being offered that our listeners would need to know about, or if it was a grant program. So let's figure that out first. Is it a loan or a grant?
Well, it's actually neither.
Neither.
It's actually financing, and there is a difference between a loan and financing. A loan is something that is secured by your personal credit. And financing is actually secured by property. And so the acronym Property Assessed Clean Energy infers that this financing is secured by your property, and that becomes the basis of the financing, is the value of your property. It's not based on credit score, it's based on the value of your property. And so it's not credit score based, but it is financing that provides financing for you to make certain kinds of improvements to your home or business and repay it through an assessment on your property taxes.
Okay, now this isn't new cabinets in the kitchen. This is specifically things that will improve the energy consumption, correct?
Yes, energy, and it also can go to things like solar or wind hardening, or making your building or your home more resilient against windborne damage. It makes it safer in a storm. So those are three categories, and they're all for real property improvements, things like systems, HVAC systems, roofing systems, windows and doors, those kinds of things.
Now, who assesses my home to determine what things can be changed for the better?
Well, that's a great question. You can appeal to your local utility for a free home energy survey. They come out and they can tell you how to do that. We would advise any property owner in Ocala or Marion County to go out and take advantage of this good free program that's provided by your local utility. There are also professionals that do this, energy auditors and building inspectors that can come and assess your property and give you good advice about what improvements can be made and what provide the most value to you as a consumer.
Okay, now let's say I need to replace the shingles on my roof. I know you sent us a story about a couple that had this exactly thing done, but I'm just curious. So I need the shingles replaced. I've already determined this. It has nothing to do with my desire to be more energy efficient. Mm-hmm. But I call your guy. I call some guy, and he says, "Yeah, you could. Your roof could be fixed, and it would obviously be a better roof, plus be more energy efficient." Would I qualify for that?
Well, the qualification is this is actually a statutory enabled program, and so there are statutory guidelines that you have to meet as a property owner, whether you're a residential property owner or a commercial property owner. You have to meet certain statutory guidelines in order to participate. So that would be the first step, is to visit the agency's website, and then when we have your application, we can look and check you up against the statutory provisions.
So what kind of things can we use the money for? Could I get my water heater exchanged for a better one, or? Yes.
Most of your systems in your property are probably going to be eligible. But for a residential property, it's primarily going to be your water heater, maybe a pool pump, your HVAC system, your air conditioner, your roof, your windows, your doors, things like that.
So PACE is the organization you are with. Is eVest a program or another organization?
That's a great question, Larry. Actually, PACE stands for Property Assessed Clean Energy. That is a financing vehicle. That is the way that you finance something.
Okay.
The Florida PACE Funding Agency is the local government that is providing a PACE financing program. And the name of that financing program is eVest Florida.
Okay. And do you guys, are the contractors contracted with you, or do I go get my neighborhood handyman who happens to have a license, or how does that work?
That's a great question also. evestflorida.com has a website. It's a website and has all the program information that you'd want to know, but it has a list of authorized contractors. It's very easy for a contractor to become authorized. They simply have to have a valid state license, certification or registration, or a local license that allows them to lawfully practice their trade. They have to have a valid insurance and show proof of that insurance, and then certainly we do some background checking there. But then once they're admitted to the program, then they would be listed on this contractor directory that any property owner can scroll through and find. They can narrow it. It's a searchable database that can be narrowed by the type of work, whether you're residential or commercial, and where you're located. And then you'll see this list of authorized contractors. If you have a contractor that's not on the list, you would just simply contact them and ask them to go ahead and apply to the agency's program, and then they'd be reviewed. And as long as they are a legal and authorized contractor to do that kind of work in the state, they'll probably be admitted to the program.
Now, how is this new to Marion County? And it's just a secondary question, if you could answer both during your answer. Is it new to us, I guess? And then was it something that the county commission had to approve of?
Yes, actually, it's fairly new. It was the Board of County Commissioners approved this in the fourth quarter of last year, and we've been busy acquiring contractors and working with property owners in Marion County to move this program forward. The Florida PACE Funding Agency actually has a larger footprint than just Marion County. We actually have now 14 counties that we're representing. 2 of them are yet to sign their agreements, but they should be on shortly. So it's something that's all over Florida and growing. But it is a relatively new program to Marion County.
Okay, and what that says to me, what it says is, and this is a good thing, it says our elected officials looked at a program to see if they thought it was right for the people who live here, and they thought it did. I mean, that's got to be the bottom line right there, correct?
It is, and it's also a pretty great program for the taxpayers of Marion County, because it's a program that provides a voluntary option for property owners that want to participate, but it places no burden on the taxpayers whatsoever. There's no cost to Marion County for this program to be put on.
That is amazing.
One of the things I was asking about before, when it was just Robin and I, and neither of us had the answer, so now that you're on the phone, how is this repaid? On the website, it says I'm going to read what it says. It says, eVest financing is repaid through a special non-ad valorem assessment included in the annual property tax bill. What does that mean?
Well, this is something that the cities and counties have used for a long time. But things like for putting new curbs on the street or new street lighting, there are assessments that are placed on your property tax bill to repay that. And this unique financing mechanism takes advantage of the fact that property tax bills are already going out. And it has placed this tax essentially. It has equal dignity to property taxes. It's placed on the property tax bill, and that property tax bill becomes the vehicle for collecting the repayment of the financing or the money that you get to make these kinds of improvements.
Okay,
so it's something that's paid on an annual basis.
That sounds like good news so far, but I just want to be sure I understand this. So I literally am paying back my own loan. I'm not getting a handout.
Oh, this is not a grant program. No.
Okay, well, I like that. Well, because a grant program means taxpayers have to. In other words, my property taxes increase because I'm the one who got the improvements.
That's right, and you have to be careful the way you say it. It's your property tax bill increases. It's not actually your property taxes increasing, but what the things that are included on your bill is increasing. The total bill is increasing. Yes.
Okay, and is it spread out differently than a regular loan would have been spread out for that same amount of money?
This really gets into the advantages of the program, and one of the things is if you use a traditional financing method, there are all kinds of different ways to pay for improvements. Some people pay cash, some people don't have the cash to pay, some people have cash to pay but don't want to use it. They'd rather use somebody else's money. Some of the traditional financing options give you a very short term. Sometimes the interest rates are variable, and sometimes those aren't in the best advantage of the property owner. That's something that they get to choose. This is another voluntary option. The rates are fixed. The terms can go out to as long as 25 years, depending on the life of the improvement. So for a solar panel, putting a solar panel on your roof, you could finance that over 25 years. Some people want to do that. That's the maximum term. You don't have to choose that term. Mm-hmm. You can choose a lower term if you want to. But what that does is it allows you to structure the repayment of the cost of these improvements to match your monthly budget. And the good thing about that is that most of these improvements have a pretty significant ability to reduce cost. So if you're replacing an air conditioner that's on the fritz, your new air conditioner is going to probably save you about 29-30% of your regular bill on a monthly basis when you put that new air conditioner in. And that amount of savings can go to offset the cost of repayment. So it's actually a pretty slick program that way.
Does this include buildings that are made out of a brick and block and things like that, and mobile homes also, or are mobile homes exempt from using the program?
Actually, there are only two classifications of properties that cannot use this financing mechanism. The first class is it can't be a publicly owned property. It can't be something that's owned by Marion County or the city of Ocala, because public properties cannot be assessed. And the second class of property owners that can't participate are mobile homeowners. And it's simply because the statute requires that it has to be a permanent facility. And unfortunately, mobile homes are considered temporary. And so every other type of property, whether it's a residential single family, multifamily, condo, a church, a retail building, a grocery store.
Oh, really?
Privately owned. Private education facilities could also use this. Malls.
Wow.
Malls are big malls. So, yeah, it's a great program that way.
Wow. Are you okay with taking phone calls from listeners?
Sure.
All right, let's go to the phone. Jonathan Schaefer is answering our questions about the PACE Florida program as well as the eVest Florida program, and it's new to Marion County. How new is it, Jonathan?
I'm sorry I don't have the exact date, but I believe it was October or November of last year.
Okay, so,
wow.
So that's very new, yeah. All right, good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air.
Good morning. We had a municipal service performed here where they repaved our streets, and they gave us an avalorium type of deal where you could pay it off. And I noticed that if you took the time to pay it off, the cost was a lot higher than if you just paid it off at one shot. Now, in other words, the city is actually charging you interest if you go the the time payment. And I just wanted to know if you should maybe explain that to the listening audience. I know when we did it, I just paid it off, and my portion of that assessment from the county to do the streets was a lot less. So I'll hang up and listen to your comment on that.
All right.
Sounds like a good program. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that is a good question. Yeah.
Sure. Well, just to make that clear, that's absolutely correct, sir. Except a couple things. One, this is not a county or city program. It's something that's authorized by the county. Marion County approved the use of this program, but it's actually the Florida PACE Funding Agency's program called eVest Florida. And this is financing, so this is not the same as paying with cash. This is more expensive than paying for cash. But it is something that allows certain property owners to participate. And again, not everybody that participates is somebody that needs to finance something. It's just something that they choose to do for their financial reasons.
So in the caller's case, he was referring to street improvements or curbs or something, which wouldn't save you money, I wouldn't think. But what you're doing, does it balance out? Is there anything on the website that actually answers this? Where if I do these things, will I be spending less on electricity, and therefore it's kind of like it's actually better off in the long run if you compare the two things? Yeah.
Sure, and that really gets to the sort of the spirit of the law, if you like. If your readers are interested in actually reading the statute, you can find the statute that underpins this program in Florida State Statutes, Section 163.08 and 163.08. And again, the statute, the goal of the statute was to accomplish a couple objectives. One was to improve the building stock in the state of Florida and simply bring it to code. If you can bring the state of Florida's building stock to code, it would be able to reduce a lot of the energy consumption out there, make it more efficient consumption, reduce the carbon footprint of our building stock, and also it would help harden or make the homes more resistant against windborne damage, which is something that we all are very familiar with from 2004 hurricane season, etc. And so it would just make for a more sustainable future for Florida residents. The other thing is it actually allows contractors to close more business, bring some of those skilled labor jobs back to Florida, and get contractors moving on a lot more work here in the state of Florida. But each of these types of improvements has the potential for positive cash flow. So, for instance, a roof replacement, when you replace your roof at today's code, you actually have the opportunity to reduce your property insurance premiums. The wind portion of your premium can be reduced significantly when you're using today's codes. They make that roof a lot more resilient against windborne damage. And so that savings is something that goes out annually for you, and it can substantially reduce the cost of this improvement if you're looking at it on a monthly basis.
And we have Jonathan. We have another phone call. Good morning. Thank you for calling.
Good morning. It's Sonny again. The fact that you mentioned the roof, that would be the normal or most likely place to put solar panels on a home. My question to you is, if your roof is it's pretty old, would you suggest that you replace the roof where the solar panels are going to be going? Otherwise, I can't see how you can replace a roof with existing solar panels already up there. The other thing is, I'm reading about the improvement in the efficiency of solar panels, converting sunlight to electricity. And I understand they've drastically improved, so it actually is a good deal. But I was just wondering about the roof, or if you're familiar with the construction end of it. I'll hang up. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure. Yeah, well, absolutely. You'd want to put these solar panels on a new roof or a roof that's very young because those solar panels have a useful life of 25 years. And you don't want to get into a situation where you're installing new equipment on a roof that needs to be replaced.
That makes sense.
That's not a good decision. But that's something that most solar and roofer contractors are going to be able to inform you about.
Well, thank you for being on today, Jonathan.
And this is something that the consumer really needs because they need to have a list of contractors and construction professionals that they can trust and not just somebody that they pick up out of the air.
Sure. And as another service, the agency also is reviewing all the proposals that contractors submit to the property owners. And we're not going to tell the contractors what to charge, but we are going to do a due diligence review of the costing and making sure that it's within line for regional pricing. So that's just an extra protection to the consumer.
Wow. The website is very informative. I would advise the listeners who are interested in this, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jonathan, the website I'm going to suggest is evestflorida.com. Is that the best one?
That is correct.
So eVest is spelled E-V-E-S-T. So evestflorida.com. And you really have somebody did a good job on the website because it helped me understand most of it. I just didn't quite understand that ad valorem part of it. But, thank you. It went too fast, and I knew we would have more questions than we had time for. So I guess the website is the way we go now. Thank you for taking some time, Jonathan, to help us understand this. I think a lot of our listeners will benefit from this information.
Thank you very much, Larry, Robin. Appreciate being on the show.
All right. We'll take a little break. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. President Obama says any nuclear policy agreement with Iran must include a way to make sure Iran's doing what it's supposed to do, telling CBS.
If there's no deal, then we walk away.
Some Republicans say Congress should have the final say.
47 Republican senators signed onto a letter directed to the Iranian government warning
any deal that is not approved by the Congress won't be accepted by the Congress.
Republican Senator Tom Cotton wrote the letter and told Fox News the current deal is unacceptable.
Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland. A University of Oklahoma fraternity is getting kicked off campus after release of a video showing members making a racist chant. The fraternity's national headquarters says it's embarrassed by the behavior. A good day in Las Vegas for the defending NASCAR champ.
Win number 29 at the checkered flag, Kevin Harvick.
Courtesy Fox Sports, Harvick led more than half the race, beating Martin Truex Jr. and Ryan Newman. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Superstorms, road closures, flooding, airports snowed in. If you travel for work like I do, news like that can ruin your whole day. It did mine until I discovered Citrix GoToMeeting online meeting software. With GoToMeeting, you can meet from anywhere using your computer, tablet, or smartphone. No expensive travel required. And with HD video, you simply turn on your webcam and it's just like being in the same room, which means you can stay productive no matter what the news brings.
Visit GoToMeeting.com and start our free 30-day trial.
What's the secret to great business trips? Choice Hotels, where you'll find everything a business traveler needs, like a generous rewards program. And right now, choose Choice twice for 2 separate trips and get a night at no price. Stay for business at Choice Hotels and book now at choicehotels.com. Great endings begin here. Free night based on an 8,000-point Choice Privileges Reward night at over 1,500 hotels. Valid 2/19/15 through 4/22/15. Requires registration and 2 separate qualifying stays. Other terms and conditions apply. Details at choicehotels.com.
Today in Florida Ag News from the Southeast AgNet, we start with our weekly Commissioner Spotlight, and with that, here's Franco Galasso.
I'm talking with Florida's Commissioner of Agriculture, Adam Putnam. Commissioner, could you tell us about the Rural and Family Lands Protection Program?
The Rural and Family Lands Protection Program is a partnership between the state and private ag operations to protect Florida's landscape, wildlife habitat, and other natural resources, but allowing ag operations to continue. Through conservation easements, environmentally valuable lands remain in the hands of private property owners and continue to generate revenue, create jobs, and support the economy. Currently, more than 7,500 acres of pristine land is protected as part of this this program. It prevents further development of the land and preserves its environmental benefits and agricultural production. This year, I'm asking the legislature to significantly increase the size of this program to $25 million to ensure that this program continues to protect more of Florida's natural landscape and its agricultural heritage. Easements like this, more than outright acquisition, avoid management costs for the taxpayer and keep agriculture alive and well in our rural communities.
Thanks, Commissioner Putnam. For Commissioner Spotlight, I'm Franco Galasso.
Thanks, Franco. And an agricultural tour is taking place in Florida. Gary Cooper has the details.
The Everglades Ag Area is the first stop this week for a group of agriculture journalists from around the U.S. and some from Europe. They're being hosted by Harris Moran and H.M. Klaus vegetable seeds companies in an effort to educate and update these ag communicators about the latest technology, field trials, research, and development activities that continue to advance in the high-value vegetable seed sector. The diverse farming operation at Roth Farms in Belle Glade gave the group its first interaction in the muck farming soils of the South Florida Glades production area, a very unique look at the radish harvest presently underway. We're embedded with this group this week, so stay tuned to this station and to SoutheastAgNet.com in the days ahead. For Southeast AgNet, I'm Gary Cooper reporting.
Thanks, Gary, and I'm Randall Wiseman on the Southeast AgNet.
Pay your taxes, eat your vegetables, watch your weight, mow the lawn, clean the house. We all have stuff we don't want to do. Isn't it about time you did something you wanted to do? Like getting your pilot's license? At Ocala Aviation, they make it fun and easy, and you can start by taking one of their discovery flights. For only $99, you get to go up in the airplane with an FAA-certified flight instructor and actually fly the plane yourself. It's a perfect way to see if flying is for you. And once you get that ultimate feeling of freedom, Ocala Aviation can train you to get your pilot's license. Ocala Aviation also offers commercial flight training for those looking to make a career change and enter the world of commercial aviation. Ocala Aviation is conveniently located at the Ocala International Airport. So if you're ready to start your adventure, stop by or give them a call today. 861-7484. That's 861-7484. You'll be glad you did. I know I am. Ocala Aviation. Call today. 861-7484.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.